Welcome to Archangel Michael Says Daily, a channel dedicated to sharing divine wisdom, spiritual protection, and angelic guidance inspired by Archangel Michael. Today we will be talking about topic and urgent message from heaven and the spiritual. Warfare for your future last night. Something tried to wake you. It wasn't a noise from outside, not a fleeting nightmare, but a deep urging, a persistent pull from your very soul. Did you feel it? A restless prompting that rose in your chest. A persistent whisper that kept you tossing and turning, unable to find peace in your sleep. You may have brushed it off, assuming it was just the anxiety of a long day, the lingering echo of unresolved stress. But deep down, you know the truth. This was not your imagination. It was heaven's knock at your door. At first, the knock was gentle, like a passing breeze, a fleeting thought. But you were too busy, too tired, too distracted to listen. You ignored it, time and time again. And now, the patience of the divine realm has run out. That knock is no longer gentle. It has become insistent, urgent, reverberating in every cell of your body, in every beat of your heart. It is saying, listen, listen now, before it's too late. Archangel Michael, the general of the heavenly host, the protector of righteous souls, is standing guard over you at this very moment. And through me, he sends you a divine warning, a word that carries the weight of 1,000 worlds. This is your final chance to hear what you were never supposed to find out. Let those words sink into your mind. Final chance. There are secrets in this universe that are intentionally hidden. Truths that are buried by forces that do not want you to be free. A shocking agreement, a dark pact, has been made behind your back, and it is directly related to your future, to the very destiny that God has painstakingly arranged for you. This is not merely a human betrayal. It is deeper than that, of a spiritual magnitude, and it holds an unspeakable danger. It is an act of war in the unseen realm, an attempt to steal your blessing, to derail your path. And this time, the most terrible part is that the agreement involves someone you love more than anything in this world. Heaven is trembling, not with the joy of hymns, but with a different kind of tremor. It is the anger of God, and you need to know this immediately. He is not angry with you. His divine wrath is not aimed at you, his beloved child. That anger, that pain, that disappointment is directed at your own daughter. You must open this message. You must read every single word before it is too late. Time is running out. Heaven is quaking, the spiritual atmosphere thick with a divine decision, an intervention from God. That has been postponed for the past 3 days. 3 days. They have been waiting for you. The angels have held their breath, hoping, praying that you would pay attention, that your spirit would be sharp enough to recognize this call, that you would listen at this very moment, this decisive. Our Archangel Michael says, your name was mentioned 3 times in a private meeting in heaven. Pause for a moment and reflect on that. Among billions of souls, amidst endless prayers, among the grand plans of the universe, your name was spoken. Not once, but 3 times. Yes, your name, not anyone else's. This is not random. It is a divine designation. They have waited for you, but that wait cannot last forever. Now, there is no more time. The celestial clock has struck. If you ignore this message, if you close this tab and return to the distractions of life, you could be forfeiting the very miracle that has been set aside for you. You could miss the intervention you have been pleading for in your loneliest nights. You could miss what was meticulously planned for you. But now, because of your silence, it may be transferred to another soul, one who is willing to listen and believe. Do you want that to happen? Do you still think this is a coincidence? Do you believe you found this video, this article, by chance while browse online? Let me tell you a heavenly truth. Heaven never acts randomly. There are no coincidences, only divine appointments. No accidents, only predestined encounters. The fact that you are here, reading these words, is one of those sacred moments. Right now, at this very instant, the angels are watching you. They are surrounding you, waiting to see if you will dismiss this warning as you have before, or if your soul will truly rise up and listen. They are waiting to see if your faith is greater than your doubt, because what was once whispered in secret, what the enemy wanted to keep hidden, must now be shouted with all the urgency of heaven. The silence is over. The time for truth has come. Did you know that this message almost didn't reach you? Archangel Michael, by the laws of heaven, is not permitted to intervene directly and tell you this. But he did something extraordinary for you. He pleaded with God. He wept the tears of an angel to protect you from what is to come. He knelt before the throne of the Most High, not for himself, but for you, and God, in his infinite mercy, listened to Michael's plea. He said, "If they open this message today, I will reveal everything. I will expose the enemy's plot. But if they ignore it one more time, if they choose doubt again, then the retribution must begin." The retribution here is not blind wrath, but the permission for the natural consequences of dark actions to unfold without his shield of protection. So, understand this. This message is not meant to frighten you. It is a lifeline being thrown to you, a final attempt to rescue you and your family. So, what is this agreement? A deal was made, and its nature is dark. It was born of jealousy, nurtured by bitterness, and signed in secret. Someone, a person you do not suspect, is trying to trade your peace, your breakthrough, for their own benefit. A hidden decision was made by someone you once trusted, someone who has entered your home, eaten at your table. And yes, it involves your daughter. She is not the mastermind, but she has unwittingly become a pawn in this dangerous game. She has been manipulated, blinded by sweet words and empty promises, to become complicit in an act that undermines the very spiritual foundation of her family. God is not just disappointed, he is deeply pained. His heart breaks to see one of his children, your own daughter, going astray, being led down a perilous path. He wants to show you exactly what your daughter has done, not to shame her, not for you to punish her, but to prepare you, to arm you with the truth. Because what is coming, if not stopped, will not just shake your house in a literal sense. It will rock the foundations of your marriage, disrupt your finances, and most importantly, it will test your very soul to its limits. A storm is gathering, and this message is the warning to fortify your home, before it hits. Archangel Michael says that you were never supposed to find out the truth this way, so raw and direct. But heaven has grown tired of being ignored. The gentle signs did not work. Now, they must speak plainly. If, right now, your heart is still beating faster than usual, if your chest feels heavy as if an invisible weight is upon it, if your eyes are welling up with tears without you understanding why, then this is your confirmation. This is your spirit resonating with the truth. This is the Holy Spirit testifying to these words. Do not ignore it. Do not tell yourself you will come back to it later. There will be no later. Heaven has arranged for you to hear this at this exact moment. Not a second sooner and not a moment later. Now is your time. If you feel the weight and truth in every word, if your soul is screaming, yes, this is for me, then right now, perform an act of faith. Type in the comments below, I am ready, Michael. Those are not just empty words. That is your spiritual signature. It is how you signal to all of heaven that you are awake. It is a declaration that you will no longer be a silent victim. And subscribe to the channel now, not for the vanity of numbers, but because heaven has not finished speaking to you. This is merely the beginning of a much greater revelation. If you leave now, you will miss the subsequent parts, the crucial pieces that will help you understand the full picture and how to win this war. You have been chosen, beloved, and this is only the beginning. Subscribe and type I believe. You have no idea how great a shift that single act of faith will create in the unseen world. Now, take a deep breath, steel your mind, because what I am about to say may shake you. This disturbance did not begin yesterday. It began 6 days ago. There is a woman who is closely connected to your daughter, someone your daughter trusts, perhaps sees as a sister, a best friend, or a mentor. This woman, in her secret bitterness and jealousy, has entered into a spiritual contract without your knowledge. She made a pact in the darkness, a vow spoken with malevolent intent. And in that pact, your name was implicated. Your home was mentioned as a target. Your family's peace was put on the table as a bargaining chip. And the most sickening part is, she did it with a false smile on her face when she was with you. She thought no one knew. She assumed her actions in the dark would remain forever covered. She believed heaven was too busy to notice her whispers. But she was wrong. She was terribly wrong. She thought no one in heaven saw. But Archangel Michael was watching everything from the moment that evil intentions sparked in her heart. Michael's gaze was upon it, and when the words of the dark pact were uttered, his sword, the sword of truth and justice, blazed with a divine fire. He witnessed it all, and he's awaiting the command to act. This woman is not a stranger you just met. That is what makes this betrayal so painful. She has been very close to your family for years. You have opened up to her, shared secrets, trusted her. Your daughter has confided in her, sought her advice, viewed her as a source of spiritual support. But what neither you nor your daughter knew is that heaven records everything, every whisper, every text message, every phone call, every hidden intention behind a smile. Nothing escapes the all-knowing one, and the record of her betrayal has been documented in detail. And now for a truth that is even deeper and more painful. God's anger is not without cause. He is enraged because your daughter is being influenced, poisoned by a darkness so cleverly disguised as protection and love. That woman and the forces behind her have convinced your daughter that she is doing a good thing, that she is protecting you from something, or helping the family by following a new path. But in reality, she is unwittingly helping to destroy something sacred, a hedge of protection that God had placed around your family. She is being deceived, cruelly manipulated. And Michael says, if you do not find out the whole truth before tonight, it may be too late to reverse the damage that has been done. A spiritual door will close, and the miracle that God had planned. For you this week, a financial breakthrough. A healing in a relationship will be postponed indefinitely, or worse. It will be transferred to someone else. Not because God is cruel, but because the law of heaven is that a blessing cannot be bestowed upon something you refuse to believe in, refuse to fight to protect. I know this is painful. I know that right now, a part of you wants to deny it, to believe that everything is fine, that this is just a wild story. But heaven says that the truth will no longer knock politely. It will kick the door down, whether you are ready or not. The truth is, your daughter is being torn between two forces. Her soul is in a tug of war. On one side is the light of God, your love, trying to pull her back. On the other is the darkness of deception, whispering sweet nothings to lure her further away. One force wants her to be safe and to flourish in God's blessing. The other wants her to be spiritually sacrificed, to be an offering for someone else's ambition. You do not have time to sit back and wait to see what happens. You must act now. And the first and most important action begins with knowing the truth, knowing the enemy, knowing their schemes. Yes, Michael has much more to tell you. Yes, your future is truly at stake. Yes, this message will go even deeper, exposing more sophisticated layers of deception. But it can only continue when your spirit is truly open to receive it. Without a shred of doubt, think about your home over the past few weeks. Have you felt a shift, a heaviness in the air? Arguments over nothing? An unexplainable sense of unease? You were not imagining it. Something has been planted in your home. Something hidden. It is not a physical object, not a charm or a piece of paper. It is an energy. The energy of that dark pact. An agreement was made without your knowledge, and its energy has silently seeped into your living space, lying dormant like a toxic shadow in the corner, just waiting for the right moment to cause chaos and destruction. And here is the most painful part, the part you need to brace yourself to face. Your daughter knows about it. Perhaps she doesn't know the full plan, doesn't understand its demonic nature, but she knows enough to feel that something is wrong. She has heard the words, participated in the conversations, witnessed the actions that she should have questioned. In her heart, a small voice has tried to warn her. Her conscience, the call of the spirit, has whispered, this is wrong, but she is trying to silence it. She is trying to rationalize her actions, perhaps out of fear, manipulation, or belief in false promises. And in silencing that voice, she is unwittingly silencing God's own warnings. Michael says, the woman behind this has been jealous of your family for years. That jealousy is like an acid, having corroded her soul from the inside out. She looked at what you have, the love, the bond, the small blessings, and she coveted it. But in a sick way, she didn't want to work to have those things. She wanted to take them from you. She has smiled to your face, hugged your daughter, said sweet words like we're sisters, a second family. But her heart, oh beloved, her heart is full of thorns and venom. And behind your back, she made a shocking deal, in which your name and your peace were used as bargaining chips. A manipulation presented to your daughter under the guise of protection or a special blessing. But in reality, it was a curse wrapped in beautiful paper, a poisoned gift. She promised to block your upcoming breakthrough in exchange for some benefit for herself. And now, the dead energy of that agreement has found its way to your very doorstep. God says the reason you have been feeling strange lately is this: the heaviness on your shoulders, the spiritual confusion, the feeling of walking in a fog, the moments of frustration, sadness, or anger that well up from nowhere for no apparent reason. It is because that spiritual attack has been activated that you are not going crazy. Your spirit, which is more sensitive than your mind, has perceived what your physical eyes cannot see. It has felt the war that is being waged. You feel the tension in relationships. You notice the shift in conversations, the way some people suddenly go silent or speak differently when you enter a room. You are not imagining it. That is spiritual warfare. And Michael says, if you dare to open your heart completely right now, with no defenses, he will show you exactly who is behind this, their name, and what they are planning next against you. The truth is right in front of you, just waiting for you to permit its revelation. Before we delve deeper into these dark plots, there is something critically important you must do immediately. Archangel Michael is asking you, right at this moment, to take back your spiritual authority. Yes. Even if you are feeling utterly exhausted, even if your heart is breaking from what you have just heard, even if you feel like you are just an ordinary person with no special power, listen to this. You are far more powerful than you think. In your veins runs the blood of overcomers, and in your soul is the imprint of the Creator. The agreement made behind your back, that dark pact. It can be broken, it can be cancelled, but it can only be broken by the one whose name is on heaven's scroll, the one who is the primary target of the attack. And that is you. All this time, heaven has been waiting for you. They have been waiting for your voice to ring out in the spiritual realm. They have been waiting for your decision. They have been waiting for your awakening. They cannot intervene forcefully if you do not give permission, because God honors the free will He gave you. But now, the time for silence is over. Michael says, beloved, do not let your silence become an unconscious surrender. Do not let your hesitation become consent to the enemy's plan. Your voice is a weapon. Your declaration is a command in the unseen realm. Use it. Now, let's talk about the deeper part, the scarier part, the part that even your daughter doesn't fully understand. The woman who made the agreement, she did not act alone. She is just a pawn, an agent. She was advised, guided by another person, an older man, On the surface, he appears wise, knowledgeable, perhaps carrying the title of a spiritualist, a teacher, a healer. But inside, he is spiritually dangerous. His soul has been corrupted. He specializes in hunting families with the divine anointing, families chosen by God to do great things. And he has done this before with many other families, sowing division and stealing blessings, and your family became the next target. Why? Because he sensed your spiritual gift. Yes, you have a gift. A divine anointing flows in your bloodline, perhaps an ability for earth-shaking prayer, the gift of discernment, or a call to leadership that you have not yet discovered. And this man's goal is to sever it, to cut it off at the roots before it is fully activated and becomes a threat to the kingdom of darkness. That is why this attack is not random. It is targeted, precisely calculated, and perfectly timed. It doesn't target your weaknesses. It targets your greatest strengths, the biggest blessings that are about to come to you. And here is a sacred mystery you must grasp. The attack only comes because your blessing is so close. Closer than ever before, if there were not something good and great about to happen in your life, the enemy would not bother wasting this much effort. They only attack where there is treasure. The presence of this war is the very evidence of the greatness of the victory that awaits you. Something big is about to break forth for you, perhaps financial freedom, a restored marriage, healing from an illness, a wide-open career door. That is why this attack is so fierce and so stealthy. Because your miracle has already been dispatched from heaven. It is on its way, and they know it. They are trying to erect a last-minute roadblock. But God is still holding that blessing, protecting it, waiting for your full awareness and decisive action. Archangel Michael reveals that just last night, while you were sleeping, your name was mentioned again, not in heaven, but in another realm, by that woman and man in a private conversation, perhaps over the phone or text. Your daughter's name was also mentioned, but this time, they weren't just talking about blocking your blessing. They were plotting how to move it, to delay it permanently, even to redirect it to someone else. They thought you were fast asleep in ignorance. They thought you would forever be blind to their false smiles and lies. They underestimated you. They underestimated heaven's intervention. But heaven declares, today is the day of awakening. The curtain has fallen on the charade. Before I reveal what your daughter is still hiding, what she did in a moment of weakness, I want you to promise Michael one thing. Please do not judge her with bitterness. See her through the lens of mercy. God's anger is not to punish her, but to protect her. He sees how conflicted and pained her heart is. He knows that a deep part of her still loves and wants to protect you. But her silence, her lack of understanding, is making her an accomplice in a spiritual crime. And if she does not speak up soon, if she does not break free from that grip, the spiritual damage to herself could be irreversible. You must be the one to open the door for the truth. You must be the steady lighthouse so she can find her way back. And that starts here, beloved. With your forgiveness and your strength, you are still reading these words. That means more than you can possibly imagine. It means your spirit knows. This is the truth. Your mind might be fighting it. But your soul has surrendered to this divine reality. So right now, say it out loud. Even if it's just a whisper, Michael, I give you permission to reveal the entire truth. I will not run anymore. I am ready. Do you feel that shift? A sense of relief? Or an electric current down your spine? That is not your imagination. That is your spirit standing up straight, answering the call. That is the wind of heaven beginning to blow through your space, cleansing what is impure. And now that you have given permission, Michael is about to show you what happens next. Pay very close attention. Within 3 days from now, an event will take place. It could be a conversation, an invitation to dinner, a family gathering, or even just a phone call. And you will notice something very strange about it. The timing of the event will feel forced, unnatural. Someone, particularly that woman, will act overly polite, sickeningly sweet. She will constantly look into your eyes, not with love, but as if she is probing, waiting to see if you know her scheme. And when that happens, you will immediately remember this message. You will remember these warnings. Michael says, in that moment, do not react with emotion. Do not get angry. Do not argue. Observe. Be silent and let heaven speak through your silence. Because it is in your powerful calmness that what they are trying to hide will begin to expose itself. The lies will become clumsy. The truth will leak through the cracks. And your daughter, she will be standing there, and for the first time, she will begin to see the falsehood. But that will only happen if you stand firm in your truth. Unshaken, Archangel Michael says this next part may make you very emotional. It may stir up pain, anger, and even disappointment. That is okay. Let the tears fall if they need to. They are not a sign of weakness. They are sacred water, cleansing your soul. They are the healing that is beginning. Because what you are about to discover will be like a key, unlocking and connecting every strange moment, every uneasy feeling you have experienced over the past few weeks, or even months. The unexplainable, bizarre behaviors, the sudden changes in your daughter's attitude, the distance, the causeless silence, the fleeting look of guilt in her eyes when you looked directly at her, the bedroom doors that closed without warning, the calls she quickly ended when you came near, and the times she stepped outside, finding a hidden corner to whisper on the phone. With a tense expression on her face, all those disjointed pieces will now be assembled into a complete and terrifying picture. It all leads to this. The man I told you about, the one pulling the strings behind the woman, introduced himself to your daughter as a healer, a spiritual advisor, a helper. He uses the language of light, speaking of energy, frequencies, and releasing blockages. But God sees through that mask. He sees his dark heart. He is not a healer. He is a controller. He does not release. He binds. He is the one who, through that woman, planted a venomous lie in your daughter's mind. That your own energy, the mother who gave her life, is the reason her life is blocked. That your prayers, your dreams for her, the divine protection you have always provided, had somehow become outdated or negative, and that in order to move forward, to have her own breakthrough, she had to disconnect from your energy. That is the horrific lie that was sown into the soil of a confused soul. And the close woman was there every day to water it and encourage that toxic seed to sprout. But here is the truth of heaven, the unshakable truth. Your daughter's miracle is tied to your presence, never blocked by it. Her breakthrough is linked to your prayers. Your love, the unconditional love of a mother, is the greatest protection, the most solid shield God has given her in this world. Your words, sometimes soft, sometimes firm, have always been her shield. Against countless dangers she never even knew about, heaven tried to get her attention in many ways. Through dreams, through feelings of unease. But her ears, at that time, were turned to the wrong voices, to the whispers of deception. And then, in a moment of weakness, a moment of peak manipulation, your daughter agreed to do something. Something that broke God's heart. A ritual. A vow. In her young mind, she didn't think it meant anything significant. She might have thought it was just symbolic, an act to release negative energy. She did not sense the real danger. But in the spiritual realm, nothing is merely symbolic. Every action, every word carries weight, and that act of hers became a legal permission. A wide-open door for evil forces to have the right to intervene and move a blessing, a sacred connection, away from you and your family. And now, Michael says that ritual, that vow, must be cancelled by a greater authority. Before I reveal the details of what happened on that fateful night, I want you to engrave this in your heart. God is not here to punish you or your daughter. He is here to protect you both. This message is not meant to bring inescapable fear. It is to shine a divine light, a powerful searchlight, into the very place where darkness has hidden for too long, where the mold of deception has been silently growing. The light will expose, and the light will heal. Breathe again, deeply. It happened exactly 2 weeks ago, late one night. Your daughter was with that woman and possibly one or two others. They were in a room decorated to appear very spiritual. There were scented candles, incense, and soothing meditation music. A space designed to make one lower their guard, to believe this was a safe and sacred place. The man, the mastermind, joined them, possibly through a video call. His voice was full of authority and false kindness. And in that space, they performed a ritual in the name of your daughter for her benefit. They asked her to read aloud words that had been prepared, a declaration of release from old bonds. And she, in her naivety and blind trust, did it. She spoke those words. She didn't fully understand the spiritual weight of what she was saying. She didn't sense the lurking danger. That is how darkness works. It never arrives with a hideous face. It always comes in the guise of light, of wisdom, of love. But in heaven, Archangel Michael was watching it all. And the moment your daughter uttered those words, a spiritual shift did indeed occur. A sacred cord of connection between you and her was intentionally loosened. A shield of protection was lowered. And that is precisely when you started to feel strange. Your sleep changed, becoming fitful, filled with dreams. Your energy began to drain for no clear reason. You started having bizarre, meaningless dreams, seeing faces you didn't recognize. That was not just ordinary stress. It was the direct consequence of a spiritual cord being tampered with and damaged by the enemy. But listen here, warrior of God. Heaven says it is not too late. There is still time. That is exactly why this urgent message has broken through every barrier to reach you in time. Because what was spoken against you can be broken by you. A curse created by words can be shattered by a more powerful word. You are not a helpless victim in this story. You are the one who holds the key to turn this around. And Archangel Michael is right here, beside you, to guide you in doing it right now. Where you are, say these words out, loud and clearly. Don't just read them in your head. Let their sound vibrate in your space. Shake the air around you. Say, in the name of Jesus Christ, I cancel every agreement, every pact, every vow made in my name or my family's name without my permission. I reject and nullify every negative word, every curse spoken against me and my daughter. I declare that no weapon formed against us shall prosper. I choose divine restoration right now. Amen. Do you feel that? A wave of warmth? A chill down your spine? Or even tears flowing freely? That is the shift beginning. That is the spiritual realm responding to the authority you have just declared. The counterattack has begun. Michael wants to tell you one more thing, something even your daughter hasn't realized. The woman she trusted during her visits to your home didn't just come as a friend. She was secretly collecting personal items. It could have been photos, the birth dates of family members, or even a small object from your home that she stealthily took or copied. And she took one of those things, something symbolic of your connection, and gave it to that man as a memento, a point of connection. That object was used in a symbolic act of transference during that ritual. That is why heaven is angry, because the sacred spiritual boundary around your home and family was trespassed, blatantly challenged, and unless you reinforce it now with your authority, the disruption and chaos will continue. Archangel Michael and his legions are ready to enter and spiritually cleanse your home. But he cannot enter where he is not invited. He respects your space and your sovereignty. So, if you are truly ready for a complete purification, whisper these words with all the sincerity of your heart. Archangel Michael, in God's name, I invite you and your angels into my home. Please reclaim what is mine. Please protect my family. Please expose everything that is hidden and break every unholy influence. Thank you. Yes, something has just shifted back. You might feel it on your skin, in your chest, in your very breath. The control of your home is being returned to its true. Heaven doesn't just expose the past. They illuminate the near future so you can prepare. Michael says he will give you a vision of what will happen in the next 3 days. This is not a vague dream, but a divine foreknowledge. Within 3 days of you finishing this message, your daughter will receive an offer. It will come unexpectedly. A job opportunity that sounds too good to be true, a strange financial deal, or a promise of a brilliant future. On the surface, it will look like the answer to all her problems, but it will come with a hidden condition, an invisible price not written on paper. Leave your past behind, and that past, beloved, is you. You are the one they want to remove from her future's picture. not because they hate you personally, but because your spirit is too strong. Your prayers are too powerful. Your presence is a searchlight of truth, and they cannot carry out their dark plans in that light. You see too much, you feel too much, and they fear that sooner or later you will discover the whole truth. But Michael says you don't have to discover it anymore. You already know. That is why you must be prepared for that day. Because on the day your daughter joyfully tells you about this amazing opportunity, she will need you to stand firm, not in anger, not in shame or chastisement, but in the calm, powerful truth of God. You will look your daughter straight in the eye, and in that moment, heaven will place the exact words in your mouth. It might be a simple but profound question, or a loving but powerful statement. And when you speak those words, something miraculous will happen. The veil over her mind will be torn. She will break down. She will cry, not out of anger at you, but because she finally sees. She will see the manipulation, the falsehood behind that sweet offer, and she will come back. But if you ignore this message now, if you do not prepare yourself, the opportunity for that moment of salvation could pass forever. So I ask you again, beloved, are you still here? Are you still reading every single word? It means more than you think. It means your soul has said yes to heaven. It means you have accepted this mission. It means you have been chosen. You might be wondering through your tears, why me? Why did God choose me to bear the weight of this truth? Why do I have to be the one to fight? And the answer from heaven is simple and beautiful. Because you are the pillar of this family. You are the spiritual gatekeeper. You are the one whose prayers, even whispered in the night, echo louder through the courts of heaven than all the wicked vows of the enemy. Heaven sees every single one of your tears. Not one falls to the ground unrecorded. They know your pain, your loneliness, and they chose you precisely because of the boundless love you have for your family. That love is the most powerful weapon of all. Archangel Michael wants you to engrave this deep in your heart. You have not failed as a mother, a father, a pillar. What happened is not your fault. You have not been forgotten, and you are certainly not too late. In fact, you are right on time, perfectly on time, at the very moment. You are reading these lines. The agreement made behind your back has begun to crack and crumble. The enemy's plan has been exposed to the light of heaven, and soon your own daughter will see their true faces. She will see the deceit in that woman's eyes and the evil in that man's words. And on that day, she will run to you, and she will thank you for not giving up. Now, as Michael and his angels are observing your home, observing that woman and man, they are waiting for something from you. They do not know that the light of justice is hurtling towards them, but it is coming, and nothing can stop it now. Now let us continue, beloved, deeper into this sacred mystery, because Archangel Michael says that these next moments are the most crucial. He says this part of the message was sealed until you read and accepted all that was said before. And now that you are here, heaven is ready to place in your hands what was hidden from your eyes from the very beginning. There is a spiritual weapon being prepared for you. Yes, specifically for you. It was crafted by angels, sharpened by God's truth, and infused with the divine light that no curse, no deception, no counterfeit energy can touch. And this weapon is not something you hold in your hand. It is not a sword or a spear. It is something you release with your own voice. Your voice is more powerful than you have ever known. You may think your words are just air, but in the spiritual realm, they are entities of power. When you pray from a broken heart, heaven trembles and acts. When you speak a declaration of faith, the winds of destiny begin to shift. You don't always feel it, but Archangel Michael does. He has witnessed it all. Every time you whispered a prayer of protection over your family, even when they weren't listening, even when you felt like you were speaking into the void, Michael recorded every word. And now, those prayers are returning, not as whispers, but as thunderclaps of divine power. But here is what most people don't know. The spiritual world is extremely sensitive to sound and spoken declaration. Darkness operates in silence, in whispers, in secrets. Light, on the other hand, operates in proclamation, in declaration, in spoken truth. That is why Michael is telling you that your ultimate weapon in this war is not in what you do silently, but in what you dare to speak out. The only way to reverse and cancel what was spoken against your name is to speak something more powerful, more authoritative over that same name. Heaven has already written the exact words for you to say. These are not random sentences. These are legal phrases in the court of heaven, what the angels call spiritual codes. And once you speak them aloud, invisible chains will begin to shatter. So, here they are. Find a quiet place, or say them right where you are. Speak them with all the authority God has given you. Speak them as if you are speaking for generations before you, to break negative cycles. Say, by the power of God, I reclaim my destiny and the destiny of my family. Every agreement made in darkness against us is now broken by the light of God. I reverse every word, every vow, every ritual, and every curse that was made behind my back. They are utterly null and void. I cover my daughter, say her name, in the divine protection of the blood of Jesus, and I declare this house belongs to God. No energy, no spirit, no entity not sent by God can exist or operate here. Every unholy connection is severed immediately. May the Father's will be done. Amen. You have just activated something. Yes, at the very moment you spoke those words, a command was issued in the spiritual realm. Archangel Michael and his army have begun to move through every room. In your house, you might feel the air around you. Shift. It might get cooler, unusually still, or even feel heavier for a moment. Do not be afraid. That is because anything that does not belong here, any impure energy, must be stirred up, must be agitated before it is completely removed. He is sweeping your house clean right now. Every corner, every closet, every painful memory clinging to objects, every residual energy related to that dark pact. Michael has been waiting for this permission from you, because spiritual law says that angels cannot remove what we silently tolerate or unwittingly allow. But now that you have spoken, now that you have exercised your dominion, he has full authority to enter and purify. Now, let's talk about another key figure in this story, your daughter's guardian angel, Each of us has an angel assigned to our protection, and so does your daughter. This angel has had to be silent for a long time. It's not that he was absent. It's not that he abandoned her. He has always been there, right beside her. But he has had to be quiet. Why? Because your daughter stopped listening. She filled her ears and her mind with the noise of the world, with the false comfort and manipulative words of that woman, with the empty promises of that man. When a person willfully chooses to listen to the wrong voices, the angel's voice becomes very small. But in the background, her angel has been standing by, waiting, grieving, and never ceasing to hope. And now, after your powerful declaration, her angel is ready to speak again. But there is a special condition. He will only be able to speak to her through you, because you, beloved, are the spiritual bridge, the channel that heaven will use to reach her. The message her angel wants you to know and believe is this: she is not lost. Her soul is not corrupted. She is simply confused, lost in a fog of deception. And your love is the last light she remembers, the only lighthouse she can see in the storm. That light, your unconditional love, is the very thing the enemy tried to hide from her sight. That is why this whole agreement was made. Because the enemy knows they cannot destroy your love. It is too strong, too sacred. So, they could only try to distract her from seeing and feeling it. But that plot is about to fail. Archangel Michael says that within the next 72 hours, after you finish reading this message and take these steps of faith, something will happen. Be prepared. There will be a call, a text, or a moment of unexpected encounter. Your daughter might say something very small, very ordinary, but hidden deep within her words will be an unspoken cry for help. She might not use the words, "Mom, save me." She might just complain about being tired, about being stuck, or say something random about how she misses the old days. But your spirit will know. You will recognize immediately that this is the fateful moment. When that moment comes, do not react from the pain of the past. Do not say chastising words like, "I told you so." Those are the words of the ego, not of love. Instead, respond in loving presence. Look her in the eye and say softly, "I've been waiting for you." Those 3 words, "waiting for you," will have more power than 1,000 lectures. It will let her know that you never gave up on her, that the door was always open, and so was. Heavens! That moment will be the beginning of her return. And yes, she will return, not just physically to your home, but her spirit will return to the truth, to your love. She will return with a heart that can finally hear what heaven has been trying to tell her all along. And when she returns, she will confess everything that happened. She will tell you about the conversations, about the ritual, about the feelings of guilt she has been hiding. She will completely sever the toxic relationship with that woman and man. And she will ask for your forgiveness with tears of genuine remorse, not because she is an evil person, but because for a moment she forgot who you truly are and how precious your love is. And you, with open arms, will welcome her back. And now, this is what heaven wants you to prepare to receive. Once your daughter is fully restored, once she returns to your arms with a healed heart. That is not the end. That is the beginning of a total restoration. Your home will be restored. You will notice the change. The heavy, oppressive atmosphere will dissipate, replaced by a lightness, a peace you haven't felt in a long time. Laughter will echo in the rooms again. Conversations will become open and sincere. Your peace will be returned. Your joy, which was stolen, will come back, not just as it was, but fuller and deeper than before. And along with them, your finances will also be restored. Yes, beloved, you heard that right. Your finances. There has been a divine delay on the financial flow that God ordained for you. The blockages, the hardships, the unexpected expenses, the near-miss opportunities of the past period, they were not random. They were part of the fallout from that dark pact, an attempt by the enemy to suffocate you physically, to discourage you spiritually. But now that the pact has been broken by the power of your spoken word, the angels are clearing the way for you. The invisible barriers are being removed. Michael says, a sacred deposit is being prepared for transfer into your life. And when it arrives, it will shock you with its suddenness and perfect timing. It may come in many forms: a large debt suddenly and miraculously cancelled, a person you didn't expect bringing a lucrative business opportunity, a business idea that flashes in your mind and grows extraordinarily, a government release of funds you didn't know you qualified for, a court decision in your favor, or a long-forgotten inheritance that is suddenly found. It will come suddenly, and it will come with a clear confirmation in your heart, and you will know for certain it is from God, because it will arrive right after your daughter's return, like heaven's seal that your restoration is complete. Do not try to chase it. Do not try to look for it. Just prepare to receive. Open your heart to be worthy of that blessing. So what about those who caused all of this? The woman who orchestrated the agreement behind your back, and the man who pulled her strings. Is heaven silent? Not at all. That woman is also being watched step by step by a higher power. Her name has been written in the book of mercy, giving her a chance to repent. But she is on the verge of crossing the line into the territory of judgment. She has one last chance to step back, to renounce her wrong path. If she doesn't, heaven will not need you to lift a finger. They will remove her from your life peacefully, quietly, but completely and permanently. Perhaps she will have to move away, or some event will occur that makes her unable to access or influence your family anymore. Her time in your life is almost up. And as for the man, the mastermind, he will be exposed, not by you. You do not need to dirty your hands. He will be exposed by someone he himself trusts. A leaked message, a revealed recording. Some oversight will bring his shady dealings into the light of justice. Something will become public for all to see who he really is. And not just you, but many other families will realize they have been deceived. Michael says it will be a moment of divine justice, and you will get to witness it. And when you do, you will smile, not in revenge, but in immense relief, because heaven always repays fairly. This is your moment. You have made it this far. You have read to the very end of these lines, and heaven is applauding you. Yes, you. because most people would have dismissed this message. Most people would have called it nonsense and left. But you stayed. You listened. You believed. So now, your reward begins. God did not bring you here just to warn you of a danger. He brought you here to wake you up, to remind you of who you truly are, because you are not who this world thinks. You are not an ordinary, weak person. You are a spiritual warrior, a light bearer through generations, someone who was chosen before time began to stand in the gap, to break the negative cycles of your bloodline. That is why this attack was so severe. That is why your name was on the enemy's lips. That is why their plan was so secret and calculated. Because the enemy never wastes energy on someone who poses no threat to the kingdom of darkness. You are dangerous to the darkness. Hear this clearly. You are a threat to the darkness. When you cry, angels gather. When you pray, heaven moves. When you speak the truth, deception shatters. And when you believe, miracles fall upon your life like rain. This is why Archangel Michael said, remind them of who they really are. Remind them of the power they carry. Remind them that this message is not to frighten them, but to ignite the fire within them. You have walked for too long as if you were waiting for someone's permission to be strong. But heaven gave you that authority the moment you were born. The moment your soul said yes to this message, the atmosphere around you began to change. And now, everything is moving at lightning speed in the unseen world. Chains are being broken that you didn't even know existed. Shady conversations are being exposed, and protection is coming to you in the places where you feel most vulnerable. Archangel Michael wants you to pay close attention over the next 7 days. This will be the week of signs and confirmations. Heaven will no longer speak in riddles. They will communicate with you clearly. In these 7 days, you will see very real signs. Numbers repeating unusually: 111, 222, 444. You will have extremely clear and vivid dreams, and you will remember them upon waking. You might see flashes of light in the corner of your eye when there is no light source there. The names of the people involved will appear unexpectedly on TV, on social media, or in a conversation. You might receive calls or messages from friends you had almost forgotten, but they will bring an important message, and most especially, a message. Perhaps a gentle voice in your mind just before sleep, or an image in a dream, will come directly from your daughter's guardian angel. It will bring a strange sense of peace and certainty. When that happens, record it. Write it in a journal, because that will be the moment that marks her soul has truly begun its journey back home. And I tell you this with all of heaven's certainty. Your daughter will come back, and she will come back better. Not just back to you, but back to herself, to the true person God created her to be. She will be healed from the wounds of deception. She will cry in your arms, the final cleansing tears, and there will be a night when the two of you are sitting together. She will look at you and say the words you have longed to hear. I don't know how I couldn't see it before. You were always my protector, and yet that moment is coming. You must believe it with all your heart. Visualize it, feel it, and thank God for it in advance. And while you wait for that sacred reunion, Archangel Michael has a special instruction for you. He says to prepare your home as if it has already happened. This is an act of ultimate faith. Light a white candle in the living room and say, "This candle is lit to welcome the return and healing of, say, your daughter's name." Clean her room thoroughly. Speak her name with love again. When you think of her, no longer think with anxiety or fear. Think of her with a smile of victory. Speak of her as if she is already free, because in the eyes of heaven, she already is. Acting in faith will pull the reality of heaven down to earth more quickly. Now, beloved, there is one more secret, an even bigger one. There is a scroll kept in heaven, and on it is your name. Michael says, this scroll has been sealed since you were born. And recently, it has just been opened. Why? Why now? Because a new assignment, a new chapter is beginning in your life, an assignment that is no longer about pain and survival, but all about divine purpose. You are not just here to survive this trial. You are here to rise up and answer a higher calling. There are people out there waiting to hear your story. There are other broken souls who will be healed just because you were healed and dared to share. There are people who are just one step away from complete collapse. But your voice and your testimony will be the rope that pulls them back from the abyss. That is why your daughter's situation is not just about her. It is about starting a chain reaction of healing that will ripple throughout your entire lineage and the people you will touch. You are the starting point of that great restoration. Archangel Michael says that within the next 21 days, your mind and your spiritual senses will begin to clear up in an extraordinary way. The fog in your head will lift. Creative ideas will come. Do you like light bulbs suddenly switching on? You will find yourself starting to remember your dreams in detail. You will see fleeting faces or images in your mind's eye. You will begin to feel the energy of a person or a room even before you enter. Do not be afraid. It is not your imagination. It is your spiritual sight, the gift God gave you, being restored and sharpened. So, start using it. Be brave enough to speak what you see or feel with wisdom. Trust what you sense in your gut. Pray about what you hear in your mind, and know that you are never alone on this journey. Even now, as you are reading these lines, there are multitudes of angels all around you. They are not abstract symbols. They are real. They are watching you, standing guard for you, sometimes gently touching your shoulder and whispering courage into your chest. Michael is one of them, and he is their commander. And tonight, when you lie down in bed, I want you to say these words before you fall asleep. This is an incredibly powerful prayer of protection. Archangel Michael, I ask you to stand guard over my home tonight. Please protect my daughter, say her name, even from her own negative thoughts. Please protect the entryways, seal the windows spiritually. Allow no energy to enter here that is not sent by God. Please surround my room. Encircle me in the divine fire of protection. Let your sword rest at the threshold of my room, and let no lingering darkness survive in your light. I trust you, and I will not be afraid. Amen. The moment you say that, another command is issued in heaven. Heaven responds instantly. You might feel a warmth spread over your bed or a chill of release. Some of you will have dreams tonight, vivid, powerful dreams where more truth is revealed. Do not ignore them. When you wake up, write them down, because what begins as a dream will soon become clear guidance in your waking life. Finally, before this message reaches its final revelation, you were destined to hear this. You did not ignore it for no reason. You did not stay until the end by accident. You were summoned by heaven for this very moment. And now, heaven has confirmed that you are ready. So, type in the comments below, as your final seal, a commitment to heaven. Type, Michael, I am ready. I accept my mission. I reclaim my peace, and I believe. Michael says, this final stage is not just a conclusion. It is a final unveiling, a kind of unveiling that has the power to change the entire atmosphere of your life. From this point forward, if you are still here, then your soul has crossed a boundary that most people never reach. The boundary where the divine becomes undeniable. Let me tell you what is happening right now in the celestial realm. Your name is glowing. Yes, literally glowing, on a golden scroll that was once covered in dust, waiting to be activated. And at this very moment, your name is being recorded in the books of heaven with a new title, a warrior. You are no longer just a believer. You are a chosen protector, a spiritual gatekeeper, and the reason the enemy tried to ambush you with that shocking agreement is because they knew what you were about to step into. You are about to step into a divine anointing that makes demons tremble. Not everyone will understand this change in you, not even your daughter at first. But as you begin to walk in your full spiritual fire, people around you will have one of two reactions. They will either draw near to you with a sense of awe and admiration, or they will flee from you in fear of the very light you carry. Managing their reactions is not your burden, it is your confirmation. Because when the divine becomes powerful within you, great destiny becomes powerful around you. Michael says there is one last thing, one final remaining piece, the letter, the hidden letter, the letter that was never spoken of, the letter that someone in your family never let you know existed. But heaven sees everything, and that letter, beloved, is real. It contains a message you were never supposed to find. A family member, perhaps one who has passed on, wrote it with a heavy heart. That letter mentions a truth about your daughter's past, something she was never told, something that has unconsciously shaped the way she sees you, the way she sees herself, and is the deep-rooted reason why she so easily fell into the hands of the woman and man who distorted her path. Michael says this letter still exists. It might be in an old box in the attic, in a photo album that hasn't been opened for a long time, or hidden behind a picture frame. Do not try to search for it frantically. Instead, ask God to guide your eyes. Ask Michael to prompt your spirit. You will know when you are near it. There will be a strange urge for you to look in a certain place. And once you find it and read it, you will cry, not from pain, but from overwhelming clarity. Because in that moment, everything will finally make sense. The delays in your life, your daughter's confusion, the invisible walls that have separated you for years. It all stems from that untold truth. And once that truth is brought to light, healing will begin to rush in like a tidal wave, washing everything clean. Now, Michael wants you to understand something deeper about your daughter. She is not weak. She is not broken. She has simply been surrounded by shadows, by lying whispers that have made her forget her own light. But you are the candle that never went out, that has always been burning for her in the darkness. Even if she turns her back on you again, even if she doubts you, screams at you, or keeps her distance, never stop shining, never stop loving, because her soul is watching you, even when her mouth speaks bitter words. And soon she will remember who you really are. And on that day, she will say, "Mom, I see the truth now. I felt it before I even heard it. And your love is bigger than all their lies." And then she will hug you, a hug as tight as when she was a child. And she will come home, this time with a whole heart in her hands. And you will feel whole again. But that's not the only thing coming back to you. Your miracle, the financial blessing that was delayed by that pact, it's on its way back, and faster than you expect. God delayed it, but He never denied it. He just needed you to see the truth first, because He didn't want to bless you in a broken family system. He wanted you to be restored first, then receive the reward later. And now, you are ready. Michael is preparing your name for a breakthrough in an area where you thought it was over, where there was no more hope. It could be a debt that is suddenly cancelled. Someone coming to you with forgiveness you never thought you'd hear. A door opening for a new home, a new job, a divine financial door swinging wide open, or even an emotional or physical healing that begins suddenly without warning. It will be fast, it will be big, and it will be undeniable. But before it arrives, heaven wants you to do one last thing: complete surrender. Not the kind of surrender where you give up, but the kind of surrender where you can finally breathe a sigh of relief and say, "God, please take what is mine and use it for what is yours." Say it now, very softly, just once, with all your sincerity. "I surrender my timing to you, God. I surrender my daughter's future to you. I surrender my control. And I choose your divine flow instead of forced outcomes." Do you feel that release? An invisible burden was just lifted from your shoulders, because it is right there, beloved. In that surrender, that miracles are born. Now, listen very closely to this final whisper from Archangel Michael. Tonight, after you have finished reading these words, he will visit you. You may not see him with your physical eyes, but he will be there in your room. He may send you a sign to confirm his presence, a white feather appearing in an unusual place, a flash of light in the room, you suddenly looking at the clock and seeing a specific number, or simply a moment of profound peace that suddenly envelops you. That will be your confirmation that this message is real. And when he comes, you don't need to say anything perfect. Just whisper in your heart or out loud, "Thank you, Michael. I heard you. I am ready." Then close your eyes and rest. Because for the first time in a very long time, heaven is truly at your doorstep. And this time, they are staying to protect you. If you have stayed until the very end, leave your final mark. Type in the comments below, "I have completed this message, and I believe my miracle is coming." Let the angels see the light of your faith. And do not forget to subscribe to this channel, because there is another message coming just for you. And the next message will be even more shocking. It will reveal what your daughter's future spouse is going through at this very moment, and why heaven wants you to start praying for him, even before they meet. You are strong, you are loved, you are protected, and this, beloved, is only the beginning. Thank you for listening to the sharing of divine wisdom, spiritual protection, and angelic guidance inspired by the Archangel Michael Says Daily channel. If you find it interesting, please subscribe and look forward to the next videos. Goodbye and see you again.